Hi there. Okay, so we're on a bit of a kick for teas. Trying to find wild teas. I made a tea, obviously in a few videos prior, I made a tea with fir tree. The new spring tips that are fairly light green in color. They're very obvious as new growth because of the color difference until they mature and then they turn a darker green. But in the early spring, when they first start to come out, they're very tender, very soft. You can actually eat them, but you can also make tea out of it. So I did a video on that, and I showed you there was a fir tree right outside my van where I was parked prior. And we picked a couple of tips off of there, well, more than a couple, and we made a tea out of it. And it was quite nice. I really enjoyed it. It's the first time I've ever done that. So, and I did my research first. So that's the disclaimer right off the get-go here. Do your research. Don't take my word for it. I did my research and I learned how to identify a fir tree. And that's how I did it. So make sure you do your research. Don't just rely on my video. Take a look at some others, and if it's conducive to what I'm telling you, then you know pretty much that you're on the right track. But don't poison yourself. My goodness me, don't poison yourself. Okay. So today we're going to do cedar. Cedar is another one of the coniferous trees, and it's found in abundance out here on the west coast of British Columbia. Lots of old growth cedar, and there's many different varieties. So white cedar is the one that you want to try and pick from. I'm pretty sure you can drink tea made out of yellow cedar and red cedar and such like that, but right now we're going to go with white cedar. In any case, I'm picking some tips, new growth, off of this particular tree that is right outside my van right here today. So let's take a look at what that looks like. I took some sprigs, and this is what cedar looks like. It's fairly identifiable. Like I say, on the west coast of British Columbia, extending down into Washington and probably Oregon and all the way down into California, I believe, cedar is prevalent. And as you go down, the further south you go, the different species come up, like the red cedars, yeah, like the California redwoods and such. Those are a type of cedar. So it starts to change, and the varying species will show up more prevalently depending on the climate and the terrain and the location. So this here is white cedar. It's pretty common out here, and that's definitely what it looks like. So it's a lot different than the fir that I showed you, whereas the leaves are very flat, extremely flat, and that's what they look like. If you want to call them leaves, or if you want to call them needles, you know, I mean, whatever, but that's what they look like. And cedar has a very definite fragrance to it. It's very, very definitely an identifiable fragrance as well. So we're going to cut these up, and then we're going to pop some into this cup, and I'll put some boiling water in, we'll steep it, and then we'll try it out. Okay, I think we'll do just one more sprig. Maybe two. I don't want to make it too strong, just in case I don't like it. But the smell of cedar, to be honest, is very pleasant. I find it extremely relaxing scent. It's very familiar to me. It's very grounding. Okay, I think that should be enough for now. Just for the start, because I have not had the cedar tea before in my life, so I don't want to ruin it for the first try. So we've got some sprigs for another time. So we've got that. This is already boiled. I'm gonna pop that in there, bring it right to the top. We'll push that down just a little bit with this spoon. And then, will that lid work? That should work. Maybe I'll put the pot on top. Bob's your uncle. And we're gonna let that steep now for a couple of minutes. Yeah, looking forward to it. Okay, so that's likely been brewing for around 10 to 15 minutes. Smells good. So now we need to get those out of there. We will try and do that with a fork. Being that they're leaves, I could throw them outside. And they've turned a sort of a yellowy color. Ideally, I should strain it, but I think the pieces are big enough that I'm not going to miss any. And there's the odd little piece down at the bottom. No big deal. Okay. So that's what the cedar tea looks like. Journey, can you go back upstairs, please, so that you're not underfoot? Can you do that, please? Journey, can you go upstairs for Mama, please? Can you? Or go outside? You're gonna go outside instead? Come on, we're trying to make tea. Go outside for a minute? You're gonna go outside? Good girl. Okay, so that's what the tea looks like. So it's a slightly green hue to it. And that's okay. It's what you can expect from a tea that's made out of green leaves anyway, right? So it's not a very dark color. It's just a very pale green. It looks refreshing. So let's have a go at it. So there it is. Yeah, it's got, I don't know if you can see it, very slight green hue to it. Yeah. Smells wonderful though. Smells pretty good. Almost a flowery smell to it, but with that hint of cedar. You're back in, are you? What's Mommy doing? Making tea? Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna put this on the tripod. Whoops. Can we lift this thing? There we go. All right. I don't know if I'm gonna get this thing to stay or if it's going to tip backwards on me. I don't know. There we go. Perfect. It's a muggy day today, so I may end up having to put a t-shirt on instead of this thing. I'm going all red in the face. All right, so where were we? So that's the cedar tea. Very slight hint of green to it, sort of like that, just a little bit of a hue. Lovely cedar smell. Very flowery. Let's try the taste now. Oh, that's good. Wow. Oh, that's really good. I really like that. Definitely cedar, but not overpowering. More floral than anything. Oh, very palatable. Very enjoyable. I would definitely do that one again as well. So far, I think that's up there with the lavender tea. Oh, that's gorgeous. You have to try that. I would definitely do that again. Absolutely. So there's another tea for you to try. Edible plants in the wild, cedar tree. This is a white cedar. I believe that you can also use the foliage from red cedar, yellow cedar, but primarily white cedar, I think, is the one that I've seen online anyway. But what a nice flavor. Oh yeah, you must try it. Anyway, it's not bitter. There's no weird aftertaste for me. But yeah, definitely that hint of cedar with a floral fragrance to it. And a lovely smell. So give that one a try. I'll definitely do it again. I quite enjoy that. It's really very pleasant. Anyway, guys, take care. Life's a journey. Enjoy the ride. Drink tea. Okay, guys, we'll see you later. Oh man, Journey, that's good stuff.